I've been trying to find a way to say this politely. I don't really care if I upset anybody, but I kind of do. So, I work across the hall from the Department of Human Services in a small town in Texas. And since 21, that place has been a revolving door. There were days that they would have people lined up outside waiting for services. If you don't know what their services are, that's the food stamps and the free healthcare. So that leads me to talk about the government shutdown. And I understand we're going without a paycheck. I get it. And I don't want my coworkers to get super mad at me for saying this, but I'm pretty sure they are. And the liberals are going to come at me in the comments. I already know, because I'm blonde, I'm pretty, and I'm white. So go just Timu Barbie, whatever y'all always like to call me. Anyway, so I saw it firsthand that those services are being abused, and it's not by Americans. It's by illegals, and it's by males. It's one thing when you have a family that is a legal U.S. citizen, taxpayer, that needs help with food, housing, medical insurance. That is not an issue. That I'm 110% okay with that. Help people. But I have a huge problem with an able-bodied male from another country coming over here and basically just mooching off the system, because that's what they're doing. They're not contributing to society. They're not doing anything. So that, it really is, it's an issue that needs to be addressed. And if people would really step back and look at this situation, you would understand that that's not sustainable. That's not something that we can keep doing. So if we have to go without a paycheck to fix this broken system, then so be it.
Listen, we all know that the Biden administration and all of these governors and all of these liberal mayors have benefited off of having illegal migrants so that they can plug budget deficits and they could petition for more money from the federal government so that they can then finesse the system because they never actually are doing their job and balancing the budget based off of what's going into the coffers. And illegal migrants have been a scourge. And I'm not saying migrants, illegal migrants have been a scourge on the United States of America in every way possible. And everybody here should be excited, ecstatic that Trump is fixing this problem. From the amount of Medicaid and Medicare that is going to illegal migrants, and yes, they are finessing on Medicaid and Medicare, to the amount of food stamps and government benefits. And I've personally seen it myself. People that can't even speak English are in all of these different, especially when I was heavy into the restaurant industry. One of the ways that I would see them finesse the system was that they were getting food stamps, and then they would open up these businesses that basically allowed for them to have jobs for themselves. So they would create jobs for themselves, but they would get a leg up on everybody else, not necessarily through taxes, but they didn't have the same expenses as other business owners, such as restaurants that they were competing against from people that were here in the United States of America. And they would leverage food stamps in order to get some of the products that they would then cook up and then send to you guys and sell to you guys every single day. And I've witnessed it with my own eyes. There's people that are having these conversations that are basically telling you, listen, they've been finessing the system, but yet y'all continue to be liberal for no reason at all to a party that has not benefited you in any way, shape, or form. And you think that you are protesting for human rights, but you're protesting for your own demise, because even when I see y'all talk about what's best for y'all and what's best for Americans, that goes against the things that you're supporting right now, only because you don't like the president of the United States of America. And one thing that I learned in my life is that it's not about whether or not I like you. It's whether or not it's actually conducive for our lives. We don't even have to agree on certain issues, but you don't have to disagree with every single thing that I do just because you don't like me. When you are objective, you actually make a better business decision on a daily basis for yourself, for your family, and for everything that you got going on. And why should you guys, why should we continue to pay taxes an egregious amount of taxes for people that don't add any value, and more importantly, they're taking advantage of the system that you and I don't even have access to half the time. But politicians will sell you short, but you'll continue to vote for them, but they'll continue to ruin your neighborhoods, but they'll continue to throw away your community, all for what? So that you can feel as though you are a part of a crew that don't even add any value into your life. Man, the Democrats ain't become nothing but a gang, bro.
Democrats in the Senate voted to keep the government closed for the remainder of the weekend, and the question is, are there actually illegal aliens receiving Medicaid? That whole thing is the impetus of our shutdown. And whether you like this or not, it's an undisputed fact that under the Biden administration, there were undocumented immigrants receiving taxpayer-funded health care. Here are the facts. Last year, Medicaid costs for emergency services for illegal aliens skyrocketed 142%, totaling $9.1 billion. From 2020 to 2024, Medicaid spending for emergency services for illegals tripled under Joe Biden, up 196%. In 2023, under the Biden administration, South California's, and I quote, entire healthcare system was being bombarded by illegal aliens, enforcing American citizens to endure longer wait times. In Denver, Colorado, the CEO of Denver Health stated that 8,000 illegal immigrants made 20,000 visits to the city's health center in 2023. That all left an uncompensated bill totaling over $10 million.
And I will tell you that all of these cities and all of these states are under a financial duress burden, which is one of the reasons why we used to raise the national deficit to help bail out all of these cities, but they need to go back to pre-COVID era spending, which means that you're going to have to kick illegal migrants off of the titty and the nipple. And we're not even talking about all of the ways that they are still costing us money. I mean, you're talking about the school system, you're talking about food stamps, you're talking about social services, you're talking about the hospitals, you're talking about all of these different things that are basically budgeted to make sure that they are taken care of. And we got all of these people with their eyes wide closed. I'm gonna leave that in there. Eyes wide closed because they acting like they don't really see this happening in real time. It's a real thing.
Congressional Budget Office estimates that there are about 1.2 million illegal immigrants receiving Medicaid. Those are just a few examples. So that's why in the one big beautiful bill that was passed a few months ago, the Trump administration and Republicans made sure that those who are not American citizens were not receiving free taxpayer-funded health. Democrats want to add all that money back and give people who did not deserve free health care. If somebody says to you there are no illegal aliens receiving Medicaid, you show them this.
Not a conspiracy. I'm losing brain cells trying to fucking explain this to people. They are getting health care. This is where people are getting confused. There's states out there, 14 of them, that have passed state laws. California is the big one that gives illegal aliens health care. Full, not just ER services. Newsom uses provider taxes and he taxes the fuck out of all of these hospitals, doctors, all this shit. He reimburses them and taxes them to the fucking highest degree. Creates higher Medicaid and Medi-Cal payments. Then the feds come in, they match at 90% under the ACA expansion, and they give California billions of dollars. Newsom literally uses this federal influx to free up California's budget for Medi-Cal's huge ass tab of non-emergency care for 1.8 million illegals, so he can solely rely on our fucking state taxes.
What you see happening in places like California that's also under a budget crisis, a budget deficit, is they are basically finessing, and it's one big Ponzi scheme, and the illegal migrants is basically being leveraged and used in order to get more money out of the federal government, and the Trump administration is not going for it anymore. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. This is what social media was meant for.